welcome to another Blood Bowl match. Excuse me, welcome to another Blood Bowl match. And this time it's a match in Steel Playoffs. And this was supposed to be... I was supposed to be showing my match here, but since it went live on Twitch, I thought I'll show something different, but at the same time something that I would like to watch myself, maybe. So this is a match between Gothy Hose, led by Ugh, and Touchin Yer'Balls, led by Rylock. Well, interesting names there. Anyway, let's have a brief look at how they did in the Steel League itself before playoffs. So Rylock ended up second in his division, Division D that is, with 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss. So pretty good result, I would say. And where's Ugh? Yeah, Ugh ended up second as well with his Dark Elves, and well, actually it's the same result, so it's a pretty decent matchup, I would say. He also got 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss. Let's have a look at their rosters as well. So both teams will have 2 rerolls, and they have the most important players on the team, because the Dark Elves will have 2 witches on the pitch, and the High Elves, no, the Wood Elves will have both War Dancers on the pitch. So it should be a promising and interesting match. We'll see how it's going. And it starts out quite interesting with a pitch invasion. And what? All the Wood Elves are knocked out except one guy? Alright. I think nobody expected that. Anyway, that's an interesting start. I never expected that to happen. So, can we see some skills? Yeah. Ooh, looks like the Wood Elves have suffered quite a lot in the last match in the division. They started out with 4 loners, and otherwise it's a full squad for both teams, of course, just with the exception that Rylock starts out with 4 loners, which is quite a huge drawback, especially if you're sort of unable to use your rerolls with 4 players on your team. Well, of course, it seems that Ugh is not taking his time to stay at the back. He's running forward. He's formed a cage already, and the only remaining loner is blocking a lineman, which was quite close to him. And that's the first stun after a block. And looks like Rylock hasn't lost his spirits, and he's sort of placing his 1 player on defense. Yeah, I would have said the same, well, that Rylock is sort of the underdog here because of the 4 loners, but after I've seen the beginning here, yeah, he's a huge underdog, because that's really unlucky with the pitch invasion. And Ugh is still moving forward with most of his team, except that 1 player at the back. So that one of the witches is quite powerful here, with 1 level up as well, and she's got block there, and he has an assassin on his team as well. So it seems like a pretty strong team. So the only remaining Wood Elf, which was standing, is now down as well. So all of the players will be standing up right now. That's not a hard thing to predict, most probably. And Yeah, it seems like a decent team of Wood Elves with 2 players that have guard as well, which is quite important if you want to mark the cage and then leap in with the War Dancer, which is the typical way to play the Wood Elves. But it was really unfortunate for the Wood Elves, that hard beginning. Well, that's the first leap, and whoa, that's a fail on GFI, a reroll, and a block, and Mastanella is dead. All right, that's a really interesting start. Of course, Ugh rerolls that and gets no casualty. She joined the substitution, and the ball goes to the other witch, so I think he'll still have a chance to score. The assassin there was trying to follow one of the linemen in the back, but didn't succeed there. But he's quite successful after the attack on the War Dancer here. Seems that he's pushing back some of the Wood Elves, probably trying to knock some of them out, which would be quite useful for him. Oh, another Wood Elf injured. That's a bit one-sided at the moment, and that's the first touchdown by the witch. I think that's turn 3. We'll see after the cheerleaders stop dancing. I think that was turn 3. Let's see if... Well, there were no players KO'd, so it will be even squads after this as well, because there were 2 injuries, 1 on each team. Right? No, I'm mistaken. So yeah, because he re-rolled that injury, right? It's quite hot here. Might be talking nonsense at some point anyway. So Wood Elves will be 1 player short because it's quite hot in this match, and there might be some players just sleeping on the substitution dugout. So now it's the Wood Elf turn. They're setting up for their attack, and I would say there's a good chance to see a quick touchdown as well, because that's normally what Wood Elves do, because they can't afford to keep the ball for too long, because the defense can simply outbash them. It's a nice weather. At least it won't be that hot anymore. Let's see if the Wood Elves decide to stay on the back and keep the ball safe for a moment, or they will directly go for a touchdown. At the moment, it's just a couple of blocks on the scrimmage line. And now the War Dancer with the Mighty Blow goes forward. That's a player down. That's a POW, yeah. No injury though. Looks like he's playing safe. Is not exposing his most valuable players. And that's the first KO here. Gethar is knocked out. I might be struggling with some of these names, because I'm seeing them for the first time actually. So turn 4 for the Dark Elves. They're slowly moving forward, but I don't see anyone running around the Wood Elves. He's marking some players here. The witch is attacking one of the loners, and looks like he's stunned for this turn. And the witch goes back to safety, I would say. And yeah, all of the players stayed back. There's a attempt to dodge and no reroll, but Hister is injured. Alright, that's unlucky. But there's no long-term effect, he's just badly hurt and won't participate in this match anymore. Right, it's the Wood Elves' turn. They still have the ball, that's quite safe. I would think that a good way to move forward would be to attack on the right flank. Although it might be quite easy for the Dark Elves to just get close to them, because they are not that slow. Elves of course are quite nimble and can catch most of the teams, maybe except rats, although it's not always true as well. So he's forming a cage at the moment on the left flank. Looks like the loner will be attacking. There's a skull. That's unlucky. So that cage he formed is not that strong at the moment. Let's see if Ugh manages to do something about this and maybe use this opportunity to get to the ball. Turn 5. There's still plenty of time for either of the teams to get the second touchdown. There's a block on the War Dancer. Both players stay up. Now the Witch moves forward. The Frenzy, second attack, and that's also a push. But I think Dark Elves will get another chance to block. Would be quite useful for them to take out this player because of the guard skill. Well, at least he's knocked down. Yeah, that right flank is quite exposed, and I think Ugh is doing the correct thing by taking this blitzer back for defensive purposes. He might come in handy later on. Rylock is not in a hurry to move to the right flank at this moment. Yeah, he's enjoying these injuries, I think. So Genner is injured now. No long-term effect, he's just badly hurt. But that's the leader, so he won't be able to use the leader skill, I think. And still, yeah, he's now moving to the left, to the right flank, which is mostly clear of enemy players. And that's a decent cage, although they can still try and break through it, of course. The best way, I don't know, might be to try and set someone in front of the ball carrier, although I'm not sure they can run that far. Maybe the witch here, if they manage to knock down this wood elf here. It seems there will be a blitz somewhere. Let's wait and see where it's going to. So it's a block on the guard, on the player with guard, and now the witch is going for a blitz. Yeah, looks like she's attacking one of the war dancers, and unfortunately that's just a push. Second attack, and war dancer dodges that out. Right, now it's Rylock's turn. It seems that he's in quite a good position here. It shouldn't be too hard for him to get the touchdown, unless he gets really unlucky. Both teams still have one reroll. So there might be some interesting things happening here. We'll see what the coaches choose to do. Looks like Rylock is setting up another wall. No, he's going for a touchdown. All right, that's 1-1. Catching your pass. That's a proper name for a catcher. So now there were a couple of knockouts. Let's see if some players return or not. The weather has changed as well, so they should return. I'm not sure if any of the coaches took any Bloodweiser babes. That might help them. Yeah, there's one guy out still because of the heat. That's strange. No, he should be back because there's no heat anymore. There are 3 Dark Elves out at the moment and just 1 Wood Elf. So all of a sudden the Wood Elves have an advantage with more players. Although to be fair, the most important players are still on the pitch for the Dark Elves. There's a riot and both teams lose a turn, so that's good for the Wood Elves, I would say. Yeah, because the Dark Elves now have only 1 turn to score. I don't think it's possible, because the attack was not set up for that. Anyway, so there might be just a vanity pass, and that will be that. There's still an attack on the lineman there, and he's knockout. Belarndar is out. Those strange names, but that's one of the default names, I think. Yeah, it should be. That was the loner player, of course. Alright, let's see the vanity pass. It's the witch going for the ball. And well, that's last reroll for Ugh. And that's a pass. No, he manages to lose the ball. With agility 4 and still not catch it. That's a bit unlucky. Right, that's the last turn of the first half. Let's see if anyone gets injured or not. Looks like he's going after the assassin. He's just knocked down, and that's it. End of the first half. And that's 1-1 for you. Let's see if Dark Elves get back one of the players. No, he's still knocked out. Alright, and the Wood Elves. Also, the knockout player stays out of the pitch. Right. Now Ugh is setting up for his defense. And the Wood Elves will have their attack drive. Looks like the loner skills have not made a difference at this moment, because Rylock probably knows how to use or not to use the players with the loner skill. So it hasn't made that much of a difference. That's just a push in the middle there. That's a player down. Okay, he's knocked. He's stunned, of course. He's stunned. And now the loner players are moving forward, going for the blitzer, I would say, if that's a blitzer. That's a lineman with block skill, alright. And the wardens are with the mighty blow. That's a POW. Knocked down. No luck there. Right, he's setting up his defensive line. The ball carrier stays quite quite far away. Don't think anyone can reach him at all. Let's see the closest player. Nope, nope, nope. The Ugh will probably set up his defense somewhere. Oh, the assassin was trying to dodge. Okay, he uses the reroll and manages to move forward. Looked like a bit unnecessary move. Although might have missed something. He's getting his players up. That's a blitzer. Yeah, the blitzer is marking another player, and the witch elf is blitzing there. Okay, she injures Loraste. Okay, and that player misses the next match, although he most probably won't be participating anyway. So Ugh is setting up a different defensive line this time, so sort of spreading out his players a bit more than on the previous attack by the Wood Elves. But it will be a bit harder for him to defend. Although no, they now have even number of players on the field. Okay. The War Dancer manages to injure Yer'Balls, and he misses the next game. That might hurt, depending on who gets to play the next match, because yeah, whichever team loses is that team is out of playoffs, of course, and the winner goes to the semifinals. Well, at least these elves know how to dodge. Sometimes there's no luck for the elves. They don't manage to do anything. Well, like in this case. That's smart to leave that as it is, not using the reroll. That last reroll might come in handy later on for Ugh. Okay, the War Dancers, the most important players on the Wood Elf team, are blitzing forward. Looks like he'll be setting up some sort of a wall again, although this time it might be a bit more difficult because the Witch Elf with the block skill is on the left flank as well here. There are still enough players to set up a decent cage, so it shouldn't be too hard to protect the ball at this moment. Let's see what Ugh does. He's moving back with the Witch Elf. Okay, marking one of the... Oh, another failed dodge. That's painful to see. These are supposed to be elves. Yo, no luck for Ugh at this moment. He was very lucky at the beginning of the game where almost every player was on the Wood Elf team was stunned by the pitch invasion. But at this moment he's failing a bit too many dodges, I would say. Alright, the War Dancer attacks the Assassin again. He really don't like that player. But he's strong enough to withstand that beating. And he's going for the touchdown again. Yeah, that's normal play for the Wood Elves. You tend to score as fast as possible because you don't want those blocks against your team. Let's see if the players get back if the teams get back their players. So 3 injuries on the Dark Elf team. 1 player still knocked out. 2 injuries on the Wood Elf team. and 1 knocked out. So the Wood Elves will have 1 player advantage at this moment. And the Dark Elves will have their attack drive. So it's 5 turns for the Dark Elves to score. Shouldn't be too hard, considering that both teams don't have all of the players. Gothy hosts get an extra team reroll, which will be very useful for them. So both teams now will have 2 rerolls. So it's 2-1 at the moment, and seems that it might go either way. There's the attack on one of the linemen on the side of the pitch, but yeah, I think Rylock didn't set him too close, and there won't be any elf out of the pitch. Right, the Witch Elf picks up the ball. Moving forward, I think she'll stay in safety. Nobody can reach her at this moment. Right, both down, but the War Dancer stays up, of course. Now the Wood Elves are marking the Witch Elf because she's the player who's most forward, and she needs to be marked. So Rylock loses another reroll, trying to push out the Witch Elf. Let's see if he succeeds in the next turn or not. He's not bothering to run after the ball carrier. Yeah, I was thinking just the same, and looks like Ugh saw that as well. That left flank is completely open, and he needs to use that opportunity to move the ball there, and that way maybe stretch out the defensive line in a way, because also the strongest players here, both War Dancers are now on the right flank as well. So it might be quite hard for Wood Elves to get to the ball now. Although they can try and, of course, dodge out there. Okay, that's a knockdown and a KO. So we have less and less Dark Elves on the pitch. Despite the fact that Wood Elves have lower armor value. Another knockout. The Dark Elves need to score as fast as possible to try and get back those missing players. Still 3 turns left for the Dark Elves to try and score. Can any one of these players reach? I don't think so. No, that's just movement 7. He will still need two turns to do it. If the Wood Elves knock out more players, it will be even harder to do. Although that left flank is still quite open, just one player there and another one who might reach. Unfortunately, the game is not showing me the movement of this lineman here. It's 7, so he could go with the GFI. He could reach the ball carrier, unless the Dark Elves make a sort of half-decent cage here. Looks like that'll do. Finally, the dodging works, and he's marking the war dancer, which is not a bad idea. Now, of course, this loner can reach the ball carrier by knocking down one of the blitzers, probably. Or at least he should mark one of the players in the cage. Well, it was important now to knock down that assassin, but since it didn't happen, there might be opportunity for the Dark Elves to do a touchdown if they manage to knock out that one player at the front. Unlucky. He was trying to dodge and do something about it. I think it was more important to mark that player at the back, but now he might try and maybe knock down that player at the front, or maybe blitz with the Witch Elf. Let's see if that happens. Yes, he's... Alright. Maybe went too far. Or no, he's just using dodge. Abusing it. And that's good. That's the second touchdown for the Dark Elves, and it's 2-2. He didn't go for the blitz. No, he went for the blitz, but he didn't go for the block. So used 3 dodges. They worked, and that's a proper touchdown for the elves. Not bad. Finally, one of the Dark Elves decides to come back. And that was the Witch Elf, I think. So double important. Right, one turn for both teams. Maybe Rylock might try and set up something something interesting here. Maybe a one-turner. Although I think I haven't seen anyone do that in the ICBBL. I think I tried once with the orcs, but the goblin died, so I haven't attempted it after that. And looks like Rylock is not trying to do that as well. So this game most probably will go into overtime. It's nice weather. I wouldn't say so. But if the game thinks so, alright. Alright, that's double skulls for Rylock, and one of the war dancers is knocked out. Yeah, when you play in playoffs, it's important to remember that any rerolls that you keep after the second half go into overtime. You don't get any extra rerolls after that. So Ugh will have an advantage in the overtime. Alright, that's a turnover, and we go into overtime. I didn't expect that. But that's quite common in the playoff games, of course. Okay, now just one of the Dark Elves is knocked out, and well, here they come. The Wood Elves all decide to come back to the pitch, except the injured ones. So I have a feeling Rylock took a Bloodweiser Babe there, because they have had more success. And who's setting up? Looks like Hoogie's setting up for defense, and the Wood Elves will be on the attack. Normally, I would say that the team which gets to attack in the overtime usually wins if there are enough players left in the team. With Elves, I'm not so sure. We'll see. Well, the weather's still nice. That's a decent kick for the Wood Elves. The ball lands quite close, so they don't need to bother with coming back, and they can try and do a quick touchdown. There are enough players in both teams, so it might go either way. Right, there's one less Wood Elf now. He's knocked out. And that's third number. Of course, yeah. Rylock doesn't have rerolls. Ugh has still one. Let's see what they do about it. Yeah, both coaches have played quite good. They have managed to save their most important players until the end. I don't think the players were too exposed at any one moment, except maybe one of the Witch Elves was left sort of mostly alone in the second half, but looks like that was a sacrifice that was necessary, because yeah, the Dark Elves still managed to do a touchdown, and the Witch came back anyway. Right, Rylock tries to dodge with the War Dancer and fails that. So that's quite a good opportunity for the Dark Elves now to score. Well, not to score, to get to the ball. So the Witch Elf is going for a blitz and trying to push out the player. Not sure that was the best place to go, but okay. Ugo might have tried to push him out. Right, he's marking that player for assists. That's a successful block there on the loner player. Think he should try and pick up the ball and maybe even run away with it. Don't think anyone can reach. So all of a sudden, the game has turned in the favor of Dark Elves. So there you go. One double skulls, and yeah, the attack drive is over. Let's see if the Wood Elves manage to do something. That's a failed dodge. That's unsuccessful, and he's injured. Alright. So there's one player standing for the Wood Elves. No, two. Yeah, there's another one on the sidelines here. Looks like it's a pretty... It's pretty safe now to say that the Dark Elves will win. Yeah, he's still moving forward his players, which is a good thing, because just in case that block there fails, he needs to be able to do something about it. But yeah, it's good. There's a block on the only remaining Wood Elf, who was standing, and now I think he should just go for a touchdown. Of course, that's overtime, and the first team to win. To do a touchdown win. Maybe he didn't have enough movement. It was 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he's not taking any risks. But still, most probably there will be a touchdown on the next turn. So what else? Try to do some bad stuff to the assassin again, but they are not successful. Not sure why. Oh, he's trying to dodge and block and mark the witch elf for some reason. But yeah, he's just going for the touchdown, and that's a win for the Dark Elves. So it turns out that Ugh goes forward to the semifinals, and Rylock with his Wood Elves is out. At the moment, it's still not clear who will be the last team to go for the semifinal, because at the moment of recording, it's not clear. The result is not known for the last quarterfinal match. And we can have a quick look at the Ugh's team. I think he has done all the level ups for his team, so we should have a look at his roster. So it's a team of 1230 team value, and yeah, I'm not sure which skills he got, but it seems that this witch elf had quite a decent level up, and she got movement, because I think, yeah, one of the witch elves had a block, and now the other one has movement, so that's one level up, and the others seem as they were. So he will be one lineman short, but he will be, of course, replaced by a loner. And otherwise, it looks like a decent team of Dark Elves. Since it's unclear who he might be playing, I'm not going to say any predictions, but it seems that the teams in general are not that... No, I'm inclined to say that's half-half. We have half of bashy teams, and the other half is sort of dodgy teams, more or less. So it depends who will he have as an opponent. All right, thank you for watching. This was a bit longer than usual. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will try to do this kind of thing in the future as well, if I'll find time. Subscribe, give this one a like, and see you in the next one. Bye.